Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry. And here I am again in my garage. And I thought today would be an interesting video for those of you who've never actually had a good look at one of these machines, because not too many people in this business, although this machine has been around for decades, about 75 years, I think. Very few have actually seen these machines, or certainly not seen them in detail. And what you're looking at is the VonSchrader dry foam upholstery cleaning system, and it is very unique. There's only well, actually there is a Chinese knockoff out there now, but this machine has been the only dry foam machine like this for decades. But I'll just show you basically how it works. This one is about I guess it's about 10 years old, and I'll just show you a few things about it. As you can see, it has a cleaning head, which is sitting right on here, and then a vacuum hose. And everything is incorporated into the machine, and the way that it works, so first of all, a couple of things. I'll just show you that. You notice there's this handle here. This slides out from underneath the machine. So you can transport it by just grabbing that handle, almost like a suitcase. It can follow you along if you're going up into a condo or whatever. It's very, very nice to have that. So the cleaning head, that actually is a fairly heavy head. I guess, I'm not sure exactly what it weighs, at least 10 pounds. And it does, when you're using it, you kind of get used to how to handle it, how to hold it. You get used to it. It's not as bad as it sounds. I've been using it for many years. You notice there's actually brushes here, and those brushes, they go in two separate directions. So that's kind of cool. And there's a switch up on the top here, and one position is foam on with suction. Pardon me, foam on, and the head is running. Okay, it's off in that position. Then in that position, it's just the brush spinning, and in that position, it's the brush spinning and foam generating. And how it generates foam is, and how that all works is, it's rather ingenious. Bear in mind, this thing was designed back in, I think this original design might have been the 30s, maybe 40s. I'm not sure how long. They've been around for so long. They've actually not really changed much over the decades, although the outside of them looks a little different than the original ones did, but internally, they basically work the same. So there's the guts. And what happens is, first of all, I'll just show you this right here. This is actually a reversing switch. And the brush head actually runs on 24 volts. There's a transformer right under here, great big huge transformer. And that runs the motor for the power head, because you don't want to, because it's got foam going through it, moisture. Yeah, I guess it's a good idea not to have too many volts going through there. So it's a 24 volt direct current DC, and it's got a reversing switch right here. But you never switch that switch while the thing is turning, because if you did so, you would degauss your permanent magnets in the head. This is a carbon brush motor, and if you flip that switch while it's spinning, it'll reverse the polarity, and you'll demagnetize your motor, which means you got to get it rebuilt, replace the field magnets in it. And the critical thing about these things is the carbon brushes in there. I do pull them out every few months, check them, make sure they're moving in and out nicely, and it'll actually last quite a few years if you take care of it. That's the weakest, I guess you could say, the weak point of the machine. But how it works, it's really ingenious. You can see that what you've got here is you have this is your solution fill tank, And the tank is located right there. It is actually a 2-gallon tank, and that 2-gallon tank will last you a very long time. You can do a couple of couches and chairs, maybe even a couple more, depending on the fabric type and whatnot, but you can run for quite a while, like two hours or more straight cleaning without having to refill that, which is nice. I normally do a couch and chair using about half a gallon of solution, because what happens is this machine, rather than pumping straight liquid, it generates the solution, the liquid-based cleaner, into a dry foam containing about 8% moisture, and pumps it up that tube right there to the cleaning head. And then you go over the fabric, applying the foam. You don't put on more than you need. Scrubbing it in. You can go back and you turn off the foam generator, go over the fabric, more, and then suck it up with the vacuum hose. And so the extracted foam and soil gets into the hose here, comes up here, and into the recovery tank, which is right here, and drops into here. There's a filter in here, and then the suction for the vacuum motor is right here. And as you can see, the vacuum motor is located right here. That's a Lamb 2-stage, pretty standard bypass, tangential bypass vacuum motor, so it has good suction. But remember, you're not pumping gallons of water into the fabric anyway, so it doesn't need to be pulling paint off the wall for suction anyway. So that's essentially how it's set up, but the key to this thing is this device right in here. And what happens is when you flip the switch to foam, there's a valve in here, the solenoid, that slams shut, and it redirects the exhaust from the vacuum motor, and it blows exhaust right through here. And there's also air it pressurizes up this hose, which goes up to this one here, which pressurizes the solution tank, which pushes the solution up this hose and into here. And this is where the foam generator actually is. So the exhaust air from the vacuum motor is blowing through here. The solution is pushed up into here. And there's like a little screen in here. And this is the later version. They've had different versions of this, but basically there's a screen. This actually looks like a fine mesh hose screen. And the air blowing through it with the solution squirting on top of it generates it into a foam. And it pushes, the exhaust air is now pushing it down through here, out through this hose, and to the cleaning head. And the cleaning solution that you use in this machine, you can't use just any type of cleaning solution. It has to be a high foaming solution. And the VonSchrader cleaning solution is a hypoallergenic, and it is green seal. It is a plant-based product, and it does actually contain a protector as well. It is anti-resoiling, does not attract soil after the fact. It just dries to almost like a powder, I guess you could say, and then it's like an encapsulator actually. In fact, they were the original encapsulating type cleaners out there. They were way ahead of the ball game, the curve on that, and just so you know. So anyway, what is critical when you're using this machine is you do have to make sure that this system is the cap is on. You can't run it without the cap, because it won't push the foam. It won't pressurize the tank, and it won't push it out. And then when you are generating foam, you actually lose your suction, because all the airflow going through the motor is now turned into push power rather than suck power, and you actually lose suction while you're generating foam, which is fine when you're cleaning, because you're busy with the cleaning head, and then you turn it off and switch over to the hose, and you can move pretty fast. I can do a couch and chair typically within about an hour, which is fine, and that's doing everything, every area of it. I've been using this machine for a very long time. Actually, when I first started carpet cleaning about more than 40 years ago, this was the system that my dad was using, both the carpet machine and the upholstery machine. And at the moment, I don't know what the future holds for VonSchrader, because there has been some issues lately of supply, and I know the rumors are flying, but there is a suspicion that they are either restructuring, or they may actually, I don't know, they may be going down. I don't know that for sure. I believe that the dry powder wing of their business, because they own Host as well, is going to continue, and whether or not the VonSchrader carpet machine is still produced, I don't know. I don't like that machine anyway, for lots of reasons. I've had them, used them, started with them. But anyway, they still will be making the Host version of this machine, which they call the Iridex, which is exactly the same machine, just with a different name on it, basically. And I think they're using the old version of it, which has the smaller back wheels and slightly smaller frame on it. But anyway, that's the VonSchrader dry foam extraction, or dry foam upholstery cleaning machine. And it is an excellent machine. I really like it. I can clean fabrics that cannot be cleaned with any other method. It does a great job. I never have a problem. You do under some challenges if the fabric was really, really soiled, but there's ways to overcome that. And it is a great machine. It's never failed to do an excellent job whenever I've cleaned. I've been cleaning for many, many, many years. I've done hot water extraction, and I absolutely prefer using this machine. But it does take some getting used to. It's not the same as your normal squirt and sucker, that's for sure. There's more going on here. But it's a great machine. They are terribly expensive. In Canada, this machine, for me to buy it now, would probably cost me close to $7,000. Yes, I said 7. The cleaning head right there, I just replaced it last year, and that cost me, a brand new one, was about $3,000. So that's just the head alone. Obviously, they're a little bit less in the U.S. I think they're closer to 5,000, maybe a bit more than that in the U.S. So it's not everybody's cup of tea, but you know, once you get onto using one of these machines, I doubt you'd ever go back, because they're an excellent machine. And you can put leather cleaning solution into this machine, and it'll clean leather very well. So it does give you an advantage in that respect. So anyway, that's the VonSchrader low moisture dry foam upholstery cleaning machine. And for as far as low moisture goes, a lot of fabrics will dry within an hour with this system. Sometimes they take longer, but at most dry within about an hour, sometimes even less. So that's the VonSchrader low moisture dry foam upholstery cleaning machine.